So Pennsylvania's been stand your ground since 2011. So before 2011, you had a legal duty to retreat before you could use deadly force in self-defense if retreat was possible with complete safety. After 2011, it stands your ground. Even if you're using deadly defensive force, even if you could safely retreat, but only if your attacker displays or uses a deadly weapon. Pennsylvania is the only state that attaches that condition to its stand your ground privilege. And in case you think I'm making it up, excuse me, I'll skip the pre-2001. Here we go. The current stand your ground law in Pennsylvania. And there are a number of conditions for stand your ground. We'll see here. And if you fail to meet any of the conditions, then in fact, you do have a legal duty to retreat. You revert back to effectively the pre-2011 stand your ground law. So an actor who's not engaged in a criminal activity, who is not in illegal possession of a firearm. So you violate either of those conditions, you don't qualify for stand your ground. You do have a legal duty to retreat. But if you're not engaged in criminal activity, so you're not drug dealing, you're not in illegal possession of a firearm, and you're attacked in a place where the actor would have a duty to retreat otherwise, so you're not like already in your home, relieved of a duty of retreat by the castle doctrine. That person has no duty to retreat and has the right to stand his ground and use force, including deadly force, if, well, you have to be in a place you have a right to be, another condition to stand your ground, so you're not trespassing someplace, and you have a subjective belief that your use of deadly force is immediately necessary. Well, that's required for deadly force, self-defense anyway. And here comes Pennsylvania's unique condition. The person against whom the force is used, so the person attacking you, displays or otherwise uses a firearm or replica of a firearm or any other weapon readily or apparently capable of lethal use. Well, obviously, anyone doing this would be presenting as a deadly force threat, at least a reasonably perceived deadly force threat. But is the only way to present as a deadly force threat to be the display of a weapon? No. What if you're being attacked by someone who's much larger than you, much stronger than you? And remember, deadly force means not just force that can kill you, but force that can cause you serious bodily injury. Can someone of much greater size and strength do that to someone who's much smaller? Can a 250-pound man do that to a 120-pound woman pretty easily? Would he be presenting as a deadly force threat to that woman? Yet in that situation, that woman would not have the benefit of Pennsylvania's stand your ground provision, would have a legal duty to attempt to retreat, even though it would be unquestioned, undisputed, that she was the innocent victim, the non-aggressor, innocent victim of an imminent, unlawful, deadly force attack that she's reasonably perceiving. She's not speculating it. She would still have a legal duty to attempt to retreat if safely possible before she could defend herself with deadly force, unless that 250-pound man displays a weapon. If he just tries to choke her to death with his hands, she has a legal duty to retreat. What if there's a disparity of numbers? There's multiple attackers. Yeah, disparity of numbers. You can't effectively defend yourself against multiple attackers without resorting to a defensive weapon yourself. But under Pennsylvania stand your ground law, unless one of those multiple attackers displays a weapon, you have a legal duty to attempt to retreat. So that's the oddity of Pennsylvania's law on this element of avoidance, on its stand your ground provision. So it shouldn't matter here because, again, even here, if retreat's not safely possible, if you'd have to leave other innocent people behind, you wouldn't have a legal duty to retreat anyway. But I thought you might be interested to know this oddity of Pennsylvania law.